Hey everybody, it's Jason Creel and this is the Lawn Care Life. And if you notice, I got a special guest today. This is Jeremiah Jennings with Growing Green Landscapes, and he's actually a local guy, so we pass each other. And I thought we'd take time today to talk to him, show off his equipment, get some advice from him about how he's grown his business, and maybe help some of you that are looking to get into lawn care or grow your business as well. So let's get started right now. All right, Jeremiah, so you obviously going with the John Deere mowers. Tell me about what made you decide to go with the John Deere mowers with all the other. I just don't see a lot of those around, to be honest with you. So
they're really not that common. Exmark is, I mean, we don't even have a John Deere dealer close to here. The closest one we have is Tri-Green in Pelham, which is what, 45 minutes from here.
Yeah,
so
something like that.
It kind of messes me up. But I went John Deere. That's what when I started working in the business before I bought it. We had John Deere, and that's what I got used to running that. So they had 0% interest financing when I was starting the business. So I went out there and financed my first Z9 30M. It was a 60-inch. These aren't the same mowers. These are actually pretty new. We'll get into that in a minute. But started with that, and then just built a relationship with the guys at Tri-Green and liked them. So I went and bought a second one about a year and a half ago, and then ran those until the warranty was just about up, and now I got these. So I've liked them so far. Like you're saying, they're not as common as what Exmark and stuff is, but they're good mowers.
All right, so let's go over your setup here. So let's start with the mowers. Tell me what are we looking at here as far as this stand-on mower?
Yeah, so this is the 652R. It's the EFI. It's the John Deere's version of the stand-on. These weed eaters are kind of getting in the way there, but
it's fine.
Yeah, I like it so far. It's got about 50 hours on it, and it's one of those things that I wanted to try stand-on. This was my first stand-on mower. I've always seen the rights and stuff, and so I wanted to get into the world of stand-ons. But it's kind of like I said, we don't have a lot of dealers around here. It's not like guys up north, and even the ones we do have, they're not huge. They're not big dealers. I mean, our local guys right here, Argo Power, we love them. Just not a huge store. They don't have a lot of different brands. They stick to 2 or 3 brands there. So we didn't have any rights or anything like that. I would love to get a right, but just stuck with the John Deere because, like I said, that's what I knew. So I got that, and I like it so far. It has its flaws, but I'm enjoying the stand-on, especially for like neighborhood yards and stuff, hopping on and off.
So are you using the stand-on mower primarily now instead of the?
No, that zero turn's always going to be my go-to.
I got you.
Yeah. Well, I tell you why. Because I think if I had if anybody's out there that's going to think about buying one of these mowers maybe, or stand-on, I think my reasoning, well, I'm not using that is because the John Deere's only have a 25 horse motor on them. Most of the Wrights, the new Vertex, I think they have like 35s, okay, 35 horses. So the power difference, the speed difference is insane. That mower is significantly slower than my zero turns. So when I'm on down here, we have a lot of bigger properties. We don't have a lot of tight neighborhoods. We have some, but most of my properties right now are bigger acreage properties. So we got to get out and we got to mow. We got some time to make up, and so that one, it's a lot slower. So in the neighborhoods, absolutely, that's my go-to. On the bigger properties like yours here, I would be definitely hopping on the 60.
Yeah. So is that a 52?
Yeah, that's a 52.
Okay, 52. And then you got some sort of chute block. I'm gonna walk around the other side.
That's actually, I think I saw you do a video on that.
Oh yeah, I've got one of these. I bought one years ago, and then I put another one on my mower now. But I like those. And you got one on both mowers. But
yeah.
You like the chute block as far as.
That's the advanced chute. If you hadn't seen it, the advanced chute system. I got that one from Ballard. I'm sure they have that on the website. I don't know. I think Ballard just puts that on their website. I don't think that's actually theirs. But
no, I don't think it's their product.
Yeah,
I think they sell that one secondhand.
But it's that is by far the best chute block I've ever had. I've had the John Deere version that they put on the mowers, their multi-on-demand system. We won't talk bad about anybody, but I would recommend not getting that if you were going to get into this business and you're going to be really beating up a mower. These are the best. They're breathable. It's got those holes in the side so that lets the air through. This handle right here is really what makes all the difference because it's just spring-loaded. And I know I've seen you do videos, but you just pop it up and pop it back down. Nothing to break. And I think that's their selling point is there's no cables involved. I had grass flaps on them before. Grass flaps are a great product, but that cable it wears out over time when it gets dirt in it, opening and closing, all that. So it just there's very few moving parts on this to make it mess up. So it's my favorite by far.
do you keep it down most of the time, or when do you open it and let it fly?
I let it fly 90% of the time.
Really?
I only close it when I'm up against beds and stuff. Now this time of year with the leaves, it's down almost all the time. But
Yeah.
when I'm mowing during the summer, full speed, it's most of the time open. I just let it go because I like spreading the clippings better that way. And then maybe what we'll do at the end, maybe if we have a bunch of clippings ready to get rid of, we'll blow it all into a line and then close it, mulch them up real fine, and then spread them out again.
I understand. So your rider here, is this a 60-inch or is that 52?
It's 60.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 60. a 60. And it's got the twills on it, and man, those twills are something else. Everybody, they've been out for a while, but everybody's still kind of like, man, you like those things? I've never seen them before. It's weird hearing people that hadn't seen them because I've just gotten so used to them.
Yeah.
But I would never, and I say this, I would never buy another mower without them. This mower doesn't have them on there because during COVID, got it during COVID, can't get them, so I had to just stick with the standards. But I would never, seriously, I would never buy another mower if I had the choice without those wheels. And they're about $1,000 add-on. But it is worth every penny.
What's the deal besides not getting flat tire? What other advantages are there?
That's the number one. Okay. By far, that's the number one. And it's just because I think commercial property too, like if you ever get in commercial world, there's so much stuff, you never know what you're gonna run over. Like I did a pawn shop, there was so much stuff in the parking lot, up and down, and I never had to think about it. Like never even thought about it, running over something. So that's number one. Number two is the comfort. The ride is so much more smooth.
Okay.
Going up and down on commercial lots, up and down over curbs, because like we have gas stations that we do, and those curbs, hopping those curbs, those wheels, so as you can see here, they're flat on the bottom. So they form to whatever surface they're on.
Okay.
They're not just hopping the curb. As you see, the standards, they're still rounded. So the air is not as smooth as that does. That rubber forms. So as you climb the curb, that tire just forms to the curb and goes up instead of just bouncing up and down.
Yeah. It's either made by Michelin. I didn't know that.
Yeah, those are Michelin, which leads me to believe they're going to be heading to cars sometime soon. I think I've seen some trials on that. So.
Oh wow, that would be.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see if they get them in the cars.
Yeah. All right, and then your push mower, your
yeah.
What you got here? This
is the X-Mark
commercial 30.
Yeah.
How long have you had that one?
That is, let's see, I got that one in, I think April of this year, so what?
Yeah.
8 months, something like that.
Did you used to have a 21, you went to a 30, so what's the...
So I had a 21 and I ran that, it did good, but I got to the point, I was pushing on some bigger backyards, and this offered a lot more power, and just the extra 9 inches. That's really the biggest thing, is going from 21 to a 30, it just makes so much, it just goes so much faster.
Yeah.
And the bag, if you have to bag anything, the bag is bigger, so you don't have to empty as often. And I think my number one leading factor was this thing right here. It can discharge. And a 21, you can't discharge.
Oh, wow.
So you can just pop this right there, and it discharges. So like, you know how Bermuda grows in the summer.
Yeah.
If you're cutting bi-weekly Bermuda,
yeah,
it's thick.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Unless you're bagging it, you're not going to be mulched in that 21 inch. It's going to look like a mess. So by having this, it allows me to disperse it and spread it out better. So.
I've heard of people, the pros seem like of the 21s is the maneuverability versus the 30. So how would you say that's, is you've been happy with how this maneuvers? Or?
It does pretty good. Now, the 21 is so much lighter. That is crazy. Like you push a 21 and that's all you've ever pushed, you're like, oh, this is kind of heavy. Well, then you jump up to a 30 and push a 30 for a month and then grab a 21 back and you're slinging that thing around one arm. Like it's so much lighter than this. So that, I mean, it is a benefit. It's lighter, but this has a parking brake on it. I don't know if you can see up there. It has a parking brake, and it also has the blade engaged thing where the mower can still be running without the blade running, and that's not the case with the 21 that I had at least. The blades had to be on if the motor was on, which got to be old, having to crank the motor every time you had to dump your bag or whatever you had to be doing. So the maneuverability, this can't get in as many places. I mean, the 21 inch is obviously smaller, but like a 21 inch gate, we have those here. Yeah. Have to use the other one, but this gets in most gates. So it's been a blessing for me. I've enjoyed it for sure. All
right, let's look at the handheld, and couldn't help but notice you got a custom shaft on your steel here. Got about a 15-degree downward slope on that.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind that?
So what actually happened, it's actually almost a brand new weed eater too. It kind of sucks, but so the stand-on was on, my guy that was weed eating, he was getting the trimmer off and he put it on the stand-on kind of up there by the handlebars, and he was backing off the trailer, and he wasn't paying attention, and this end caught the rack right here.
Okay.
And he didn't stop. He didn't realize it. He was turned backwards, and it just bent the shaft. So it actually still runs fine though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it runs. It doesn't fit in the rack as good, but it runs good. So
yeah. So let's see. You got a
that's
91R, 94R, and the
that's a 94.
Mystery. Oh, two 94s and a 91. I've heard, and I don't have steel trimmers, but people talk about the 94s, 91s, and 90s. What's your comparison of these if somebody was looking to get into that?
So I would say it all depends on what you're doing, for sure. It all depends on where you're going to be weed eating, trimming, wherever you are in the country. Everybody calls it something different.
Weed whacking,
whippersnippering is what they call it in Australia.
I think they call it strimming somewhere.
Yeah, there's a different name everywhere, and it's funny because like some people call this weed eaters. Like I call this a weed eater, like the machine. Some people call it trimmers though. Like they don't call it. They call it string trimmers. But
that's right.
Anyway, the 94 and the 90. So the 90, they actually. I don't like the new 90s, if you want me to be honest with you. The old 90s from like 5 years ago, the best weed eaters out there on the market. They changed it. They got a bigger engine block on them. They're a little too heavy for me now to be using it every day, but we have some commercial properties that we do, like the HOAs and all their common areas. The grass, it's only bi-weekly, so it's thick, it's field grass. Got to have something bigger to go through that.
Okay.
Now these 94s on your weeklies, even your bi-weeklies, your Bermudas, your Zoysias, that's what we have down here, your centipedes. Just going through your neighborhood yards, this is all I would ever use. This is almost like too much power. The 90.
So you're saying which one you? Oh, you'd use the 94.
The 94 is what I would always use on a neighborhood yard.
So the 91's more powerful than 94.
Yes, the 91 is always more powerful. It's a great weed eater. It has so much power. I would not really need much more power than this on anything that I did, unless you're doing brush cutting.
Yeah.
But these are so light. The weight difference in these are insane. So hopping on and off trailers and everything like that, this is definitely what I would be going with over the 90, the 91.
I used to have a Husqvarna that weighed 9 pounds. I just loved it because of how light it was.
Yeah.
And it's like most time, people like it. 2 pounds makes a difference.
When you're holding it around all day, it does. And I think the 94 is like the equivalent to the the Echo 9010 or something. No, the 9010, sure. I think something like that. But I know a lot of guys that like Echo and run that, so I think that's the equivalent.
Yeah, I like the Husqvarna personally, but and you got the Green Touch racks here. I see on your blower. We'll get your blower on the trimmer rack. So have you been happy with those? Yeah,
they're good. They're good for sure. They're 2 years old, so they're beat up.
Yeah.
You got a little rust on them and stuff, but they get used. I don't have a shop, so this trailer sits out in the weather.
Yeah.
So I mean, what can you expect? I mean, they've done good. It still opens and closes. It locks, all that. So got those racks. I got the blower rack as well, and then so on this 94, I don't know if you saw, you can see in the video, but I got the Darwin's grip on this 94, and that's kind of a product that is not. Too many people run them. I don't think they're as big as they should be.
Yeah.
If you have anybody that is 6 foot or taller that's weed eating, I would recommend you getting that thing. And I got one at the end of this season, and I'm almost like I can't weed eat without it anymore. It's weird. It takes you about a week to get used to it, but as soon as you get used to it and you get to hold your back up straight and never bend it over, it makes so much of a difference.
And then I noticed on a couple of them you got the speed feed head right there.
Yeah.
And then this one looks like more the traditional.
Yeah, this is the traditional just steel head. I just always beat these up. Once I beat them up and they don't work anymore, then I'll switch to a speed feed.
So this is a newer.
Yeah, this is a newer weed eater, so it's still. That head's still rocking, but yeah, I will switch to a speed feed eventually.
Yeah, I like the smaller speed feeds like that because the big ones are fine too. You gotta have a real powerful trimmer.
If I got a speed feed for this one, I would get the bigger one for this 91.
Oh, because it's got the power.
But I would never put a big speed feed on one of these.
I got you.
On the 94, that thing would be bogging down all the time.
Yeah, that's what I don't want. And then, all right, let's take a look at the blower, and then we'll check out the trailer.
Here's one of them. Don't pay attention to the back of the truck's nasty. I need to get some more racks. But
was that an 800?
Yeah, it's an 800C.
Okay.
It's got the side start, and that's what I got over here. So you can see it's used. It's beat up. We use this stuff every day. And then, so we got another one over here. You can kind of see this one better. Look, see, sits out in the weather. This rack is all beat up, but it still works good.
Yeah.
800C. And this thing with a C is it's got this side start right here.
Yeah.
And I love that thing. Some people don't like it. They like, oh, if it breaks, there's more stuff to break on it. theoretically there is, but
Yeah.
I've had those for 2 years and they've never broken.
Yeah,
And
so you don't have to take it off your back to crank it.
exactly.
You
You
just
just
pull it.
pull it,
Yeah.
and the amount of times I've gotten phone calls, customers have come out, people have stopped on the road wanting an estimate, and not having to. I mean, 800s, they're big blowers. They're hard to
Yeah.
put on and take off, on and take off. So being able to just cut the power button and start it from the side is worth every penny.
Do you use the adjustable tube much?
So I actually do. I honestly do. When it comes to getting up, like say like the corner of a garage and a retaining wall, somewhere like that, getting up in there and getting, it's kind of, if you do landscaping, you'll know what I mean by this. Like you got to get up in there and kind of try to get the blower wand up in the corner.
Yeah.
By being able to shorten it, you're not having to try to get it
Yeah.
up in the corner so much. You can just shorten it and stand there and it'll blow it out. And
That makes
so
sense.
it helps better when it comes to corners and stuff. But that's really the only benefit that I see in having it.
All right, and your trailer, how is this 16 foot or
No,
how?
this is an 18.
18 foot.
Yeah.
And you got the side gate. I used to have one of those. Do you use the side gate much?
So
or?
I don't use it that often because I have a toolbox sitting at the front, so it
Okay.
blocks it. But there have been multiple times, there's been 4 or 5 times where I've had stuff on the trailer. I've had to have that. If I wouldn't have had that, I'd have been in trouble. Cause like
Yeah.
one day I had to have the mower, but I had to have topsoil and mulch on the back. So I was able to stick the 52 at the front of the trailer, turn it sideways, and then still get my dirt and my mulch back here and be able to just pull the mower off the side gate. Whereas if I didn't do that, I would have had to put all the topsoil and stuff at the front to put the mower in the back, and then I would be wheelbarrowing all the stuff from the front of the trailer all the way to the back every time. So
Yeah.
it was kind of it's not a necessary upgrade, but it's nice. It doesn't hurt anything. The only thing that it hurts, quote unquote, is not having that rail to put more racks on.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a benefit to me, and it's helped me multiple times.
Yeah.
So.
And I noticed your lift system on your. I love not picking up the gate. So. But I didn't have this. I've seen other ones, but tell me about this. Is the.
It's the Easy Gate.
Easy Gate.
From
Okay.
Ballard. So
Right.
if you can tell, I'm a Ballard fan.
Yeah.
So you might laugh when I say this. Without a doubt, I would say this is the top 2. This is one of the top 2 investments I've ever made in my business.
Yeah.
Because this right here. Every time.
Yeah.
I never been down there. I could not tell you the last time that I bent down there
Yeah.
to close the trailer.
Yeah.
And we had to take the gate off the other day to put some sod on the trailer. And when we lowered the gate without this thing on there, I was like, man, I forgot how heavy this is.
Yeah.
And
I know.
They're extremely heavy, especially when it's like tubed and stuff. It's not angle iron when it's
Yeah.
tubed. It's insane. But yeah, this is literally probably one of the top 2 investments I've ever made in my business.
Yeah.
Not having to been down there. It
I
saved
love
my
those
back
things.
and my knees so much.
And I was thinking too, is if something happened and your gate came open, like
No.
that, it's like a security measure. It
That
keeps
is
it-
100% true. I've been training new guys before, and we've left. And so as you can see right here, sometimes this pin will get caught, and if it
Yeah.
pin gets caught and it doesn't
Yeah.
get down in there, we've left it like this.
Yeah.
And I've been driving down Deerfoot Parkway right
Yeah,
out here,
that's right.
going 60 miles an hour, and the gate, but it just does this. It just
Yeah.
falls down,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mess it up. And you can see, if you come back here, you can see where it kind of hit the ground,
Yeah.
and it bent it, but
That's
that's
right.
about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it
I got you.
didn't fall full force onto the ground, so that actually, it helped in that situation.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. So.
All right, couldn't help but notice your Cujos. I have those
Oh, yeah.
myself. Looks like you've gotten some use out of them. So what's your review on your Cujos? They worthwhile investment or just
Awesome.
a fashion statement?
Oh, these are really awesome. They're great shoes. They're great yard shoes. As you can see here, they're made solid on the end, so they're dew proof. For
Yeah.
the summer down here, crazy amounts of dew. I mean, it's like it rained the night before and it didn't. They're dew proof. They've held up. I've had them for about a year now, and they're definitely beat up, but man, they're still really good shoes. I mean, they're comfortable. I don't like wearing boots all day, every day, especially when you're walking a lot, if you're trimming, anything like that. So I love them. Go check them out.
Yeah.
If you want to.
I've got a promo code actually, Lawn Care Life. You'll get a discount if you go to buy a pair. But yeah, I can definitely tell you have put some use into
I've
those.
put some use on them, but
All right.
they've done good. They're still holding up.
All right, you got a great setup. I think as I was doing it, I made a judgment call here. We're going to continue this into a second video and give more business advice.
Yeah.
So this will be our setup video, and checking it out. Appreciate you B was, tell me, you're doing some podcasting now, so if people wanted to follow you on Instagram or on find your podcast, you do it, is it Lawn Care Podcast?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So
Yeah.
what's the name of your podcast?
So it's just the Growing Green Landscapes Podcast. It's just my business name.
Yeah.
We might rebrand it here in a little bit, but right now that's what it is. If we change it, it's not going to be much different. But
yeah.
We're on all major podcast platforms. You can go search us on there. The link is in our bio on Instagram. On Instagram, it's at Growing Green Landscapes as well. Very simple. We keep it the same across everything, Facebook, all that. And we'll talk about the podcast more in the next video. So if you want to hear some more about that, business tips and stuff, stay tuned for that one.
I appreciate Jeremiah being with me today. Hope you guys got some tips on the equipment, just seeing his setup. Again, there's a lot of different setups. People have all kind of different ways to go about things, but when you get to see what somebody else does and why they're doing the way they're doing it, and again, a lot of it has to do with the type properties you're going after and what your business goals are. But it's usually find these things helpful. So if it's helpful, leave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't done that. Go check out Jeremiah's podcast, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye.